Hello, everyone. I'd like to call this special meeting of council to order. We're here to deal with a set of recommendations arising from the meeting of the audit committee and one additional matter. For the additional matter, we'll have a very brief in camera and then we'll go back into open. So that'll be after we dealt with the audit committee issues. Let's see, Councillor Morrison.
We're doing roll call.
Yes, we can start off with, of course, we'll start off with roll call. I'll state your district name if you could respond with your own name. So District 1.
Bruce Brown.
District 2.
McDonald.
District 3.
Wayne Fowler.
District 4.
McNeil.
District 5.
Gregory Hemming.
District 6.
Alec Morrison.
District 7's myself, Timothy Habinski. District 8.
Michael Gunn.
District 9.
Wendy Sheridan.
District 10, our Deputy Warden, I believe, is unavailable today. And District 11.
Anne LeBlanc.
Thank you very much. All right. So we have a set of recommendations arising from the audit committee meeting. And I would ask if our chair would perhaps read the first of those recommendations for us.
Thank you. In accordance with the recommendation of the audit committee, I recommend that municipal council approve the MCOA financial statements to March 31st, 2020, as prepared by Kenton Doffett, and to authorize the warden and CAO to sign the document for submission to the minister.
Could I have a seconder for that motion, please? Seconded by Councillor Gunn. Discussion on the motion. Carolyn?
Yeah, I'll just, if I may jump in there, the motion was amended. So it was also amended to correct the name of the Annapolis County Municipal Housing Corporation. And
Yes.
it was discussed in camera.
Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Thank you. Councillor Morrison.
Thank you. I move, in accordance with the recommendation of the audit committee, that municipal council authorize 2 members of the audit committee, being the chair of the audit committee and the warden, to sign the audit committee report.
Seconder for that motion. Seconded by Councillor Hemming. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Councillor Morrison.
I move, in accordance with the recommendation of the audit committee, that municipal council authorize the warden and CAO to sign the audit representation letter dated October 28th, 2020.
Seconder for that motion.
McNeil.
Seconded by Councillor McNeil. Thank you. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. I believe there's one more, Councillor Morrison.
No.
Oh, no, that was the last. In that case, I believe we have a couple to be discussed by Holly. Holly, if you could introduce this for us.
Sure. We have 3 motions that are required. The general operating fund had a deficit of $113,850. That money has to be transferred from our general operating reserve to general operating to recover that. In addition, the Bridgetown sewer had a surplus of $32,881, and that money will have to come from our general operating fund to the Bridgetown sewer capital replacement fund. The Annapolis County sewer capital had a deficit of $43,611. Those monies need to come from our Annapolis County capital replacement reserve to general operating to replace those funds.
Thank you. Do you have the suggested wording for those motions, Holly?
Yeah, I think Carolyn has.
Oh, Carolyn has them?
Yeah.
Carolyn, could you give us the suggested wording for the first of those motions?
So the first one is for the transfer from the Annapolis County Sewer Capital Replacement Reserve to general operating. Moved and seconded to authorize a transfer of $43,611 from the Annapolis County Sewer Capital Replacement Reserve to the general operating fund, representing the 2019-2020 sewer deficit.
Could I ask for a mover for that motion? Moved by Councillor
McNeil.
Fowler, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Thank you very much. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Carol, could you do the second one for us?
That municipal council approve a transfer of $32,881 from the general operating fund to the Bridgetown Sewer Capital Replacement Reserve, representing the 2019-2020 Bridgetown Sewer Surplus.
Thank you. Could I have a mover for that motion, please? Moved by Councillor Fowler, seconded by Councillor Gunn. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. And I believe there's one more. Carol.
Yep, the third one is that municipal council approve a transfer of $113,850 from the operating reserve to the general operating fund, representing the 2019-2020 general operating deficit.
Mover and a seconder for that motion, please.
Move
Moved by Councillor Prout, seconded by Councillor Gunn. Thank you very much. Discussion on the motion. Councillor Sheridan.
Can I just get a balance, Holly, on that reserve, the operating reserve, please?
Operating reserve. I don't have that figure. I'd have to get out of Zoom to get into my computer.
Okay. Okay, so you're taking 113 on, I can't remember how much was in that fund. I was thinking around 300 and something.
There's
but
about 500,000 in there right now.
Okay, so there was something added that,
After all of your 2021 capital projects have been approved and committed. That's what you'll have left at March 31st, 2021.
okay, so something must have got put back in because a while back we were at 300 and something.
I'm not sure, but now we've done year end for 1920. So some of those projects didn't get completed.
Oh, okay, okay, that would make sense.
Right.
Yep, okay, no, that's good. Thank you very much.
All right, further discussion, folks? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. That's the last of our motions arising from the audit committee. Is that correct, Carol?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. In that case, I'm going to request a motion to go in camera under the MGA section 22(2)E, contract negotiations. Moved by Councillor Hemming, seconded by Councillor Fowler. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thanks very much. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you back to the open portion of our special meeting of council. One of the items that we wanted to discuss as council, about a year ago, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the city of Shushen in China to move towards a friendship city agreement. A friendship city agreement is an expression of goodwill between communities in two different countries. It doesn't commit us to any kind of a financial exchange, but it does commit us to communication and trying to find opportunities for partnership and collaboration. Just in the course of developing this relationship, we've already received a number of benefits here in Annapolis County from both our friendship agreement with the city of Chuzhou and for the agreement that we've been in the process of developing with the city of Shushen. Much of that benefit came in the form of additional students from China who spent time studying in Annapolis County. We also have hosted a number of business delegations and educational delegations from the cities of Shushen and Chuzhou. We've been happy to have them here and happy to arrange some introductions to some of our local businesses that have export-ready product. And we know that certain agreements have been reached as a result of those. So we're very pleased with how that relationship has developed. I'd also mention to folks who may or may not be aware that right in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was specifically confined to China, the city of Shushen was quite in close proximity to the epicenter of the initial outbreak. And they wrote us asking if we could try to find additional masks for them because mask supply worldwide wound up being extremely low. And we did. We immediately tried to find a way to obtain masks for them. We sent some as a gift and they repaid us for some. And we were glad to be able to participate in the global effort to fight the pandemic right early in the process. And a matter of months later, when the infection was already quite under control in China, but we had numbers that were rising here in Canada, without waiting to be asked, the city of Shushen sent us a package of 5,000 masks, which had been used throughout the county in a variety of situations and for which we're deeply appreciative. I'd like to read the agreement for council so you can hear exactly what this states. It says, Sushan, City of Jiangsu Province of the People's Republic of China, and the Municipality of the County of Annapolis of Nova Scotia of Canada, acting in accordance with the principles of the joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic relationships between the People's Republic of China and Canada, wishing to enhance mutual understanding and friendship between the Chinese and the Canadian, and consolidate and develop friendly cooperation between the two cities, have reached agreement through friendly consultations on the establishment of a Friendship City Agreement. Number one, the two sides will carry out, in accordance with the principles of equality and mutual benefit, exchanges and cooperation between the two cities in various forms in the fields of economy, culture, education, agriculture, tourism, to promote common prosperity and development. Two, regular contact should be maintained between the leaders and relevant departments of the two sides to facilitate consultations on the exchanges of cooperation, as well as matters of common concern. Three, this agreement shall come into force from the date of signature. It will be valid for 5 years. Upon expiration, it may remain in force if neither side terminates it. And four, this agreement signed on today's date in Annapolis is done in duplicate in the Chinese and English languages, both texts being equally authentic. And I wonder if I could request a motion from a councillor to have the warden, let's see, I think it's just the warden on this.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Councillor McNeil and seconded by Councillor Fowler. Thank you. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by, Councillor Morrison.
Thank you. In a previous career, I spent 6 years helping to represent Canada at the United Nations. And one of the many things I learned is the importance of keeping open communication channels in the face of disagreements of varying types between parties and between countries. I think that our relations with China, this agreement, bode well for the future and illustrate our breadth and depth of thought as we establish this relationship. And I am all in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Carried? Okay, with one in opposition. Thank you.
Record it, please.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our agenda today. Councillor McNeil, would you like to do the honors? Oh, Councillor Prout, sorry.
Have we forgotten 3E, change date of the November Committee of the Whole?
Yes, it's good.
Oh, I completely missed that. Sorry, go right ahead. Would you like to make the motion, Councillor Prout?
I'm not sure if Carolyn may have a better grasp on it than myself, or may have something to add.
Just in
I
light,
would move that.
in light of holding the swearing in and the new council orientation on November 10th, rather than having a swearing in and committee of the whole, if we can move committee of the whole to the Thursday, then the new council would be better prepared to enter into that.
Understood. So how would you like that phrased, Carolyn?
Just to hold the regular November committee of the whole on the Thursday date.
Okay. So that'll be Thursday the 12th. Councillor Sheridan?
No, I was just going to ask about a venue just before we do the motion, but I can wait after the motion is done. I was just going to ask.
All right. Could I ask for someone to make the motion to hold our regular committee of the whole session for November, Thursday the 12th, rather than the Tuesday the 10th? Moved by Councillor Prout, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Councillor Sheridan, you want to discuss the venue?
Yes, I was just wondering, like, we had made a motion for it to be held in person instead of on Zoom. So I was just wondering if there's anybody knew that we had a venue.
Carolyn?
So when the swearing in was going to be held in conjunction with committee of the whole, we were looking diligently up until I signed an agreement last night, actually. We will be holding in person the swearing in and your elections and the counselor orientation at a venue that I will send out notices shortly. We committed the whole will be by Zoom on the Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
And I have a question.
Councillor LeBlanc?
So if we have committee of the whole on the Thursday, do we have to do council the following Thursday as well? Because if there's any 7-day thing?
I don't think there's any 7-day things coming up, but the plan is still to have there are 7-day things coming up.
There are
4, she says 4.
4. So that would mean that if the council would either have to, they could probably hold a special session in that case later in the week
Yes,
to address those 4 issues.
yes.
But good point. Thank you, Councillor LeBlanc. Any further discussion? Dawn?
In fairness, though, these are not things that it would be critical to have in place within 7 days. I can't foresee any financial implications or any such difficulties if they waited until the following month. By getting the committee of the whole 7-day notice, it indicates the intent for council to pass it, and staff would just carry on with that being the plan. So for example, there are some policies coming forward about reimbursement for counselors. If committee of the whole passed 7-day notice, we would know that the intent was for council to ratify.
Thank you. Councillor Gunn?
Thank you. So it'll be the new council that'll have to make the motion to retrofit council chambers so that council can get back in the chambers and meet in person. That'll have to be left to the new council.
If there were to be a decision of that sort to be made, it would be up to the new council to do it, yes. But of course, we'd have to make sure that we meet or the new council would have to ensure that it met all the regulatory requirements.
Yep, thank you.
All right. If there's nothing further, in that case, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.